Now, ladies and gentlemen, Pro Bowl voting is now over. We're nearing the end of the season, and this is where we start hearing the Pro Bowl selections come out. Now, if you know me, I'm not a fan of the Pro Bowl, primarily because it gives the awards to undeserving players. And on top of that, there are other guys that I felt that could be worthy of consideration more so than others. But again, I don't choose who makes the Pro Bowl and who doesn't. All I'm going to be doing is talking about the Dallas Cowboys and who I think is worthy of such a selection on the team. Now keep in mind that you might disagree with this list. If you do, put down who you think has done enough to make the Pro Bowl. Have they made a better case? Where do they rank in the NFC? And that's what's going to matter, you know. Of course, I'll go over the stats they put up on the year, but at the end of the day, what's going to matter is where they are at in the conference because it's NFC type of stuff. It doesn't matter in the league as a whole where they're at. So with that being said, let's get straight into it. Now, before we dive into today's video, if you guys could do me a favor and like this video, that'd be greatly appreciated. Subscribe if you're new, hit the notification bell, and also if you wish to share it with a friend or family member if they like Dallas Cowboys content and wish to see more of it in the future. Now, look, I understand that not everybody's going to agree with this list, so I'm going to provide you why I'm picking these particular players that I have on my list in front of me. And again, I want to make it clear that if you disagree, I want to hear what you guys have to say. Put that down in the comment section below. Do you think I picked a player incorrectly? Or do you believe that, hey, this person should be on this list as well? Please, by all means, let me know. So let's get started with Zach Martin. Listen, Zach Martin has had a great year so far in terms of what offensive line plays look like this year for the entire league. And again, he's the household name. He's been there, done that. I think that he's done enough to be worthy of an all-pro selection. Now, will he get it? I don't know. But listen, man, he's just been doing his thing. He's been very consistent. You know, is he as good as he was when he first came into the league? Maybe, maybe not. But, I mean, he's damn good. Okay? And just because I say that, like, that's a bare minimum type of thing where it's not even noticeable. So, again, I think that Zach Martin has done a great job this year on the offensive line for the Cowboys. And look, he's going to get another Pro Bowl and maybe another All-Pro to his Hall of Fame career already. So, with that out of the way, moving on to the next one, and I think that this is going to be obvious, so let me get it out of the way. Micah Parsons. Listen, Micah Parsons, people are looking at him as the Defensive Player of the Year. He is second in the NFC in total sacks. And also just the overall impact this guy has had. He's on a defense where they're in the top 5 of sack numbers and stuff like that. So there is an effect there that I think a lot of people have been talking about. And his versatility has been something that many teams have been looking for a long, long time. And I'm glad the Cowboys have it because, goddamn, you know, me being a Penn State fan and following Penn State, I would have been very upset if he went to a rival team. So with that, I'm happy to see Micah Parsons on the Cowboys. And with that, I think he's going to also earn an All-Pro selection as well. I think that, again, you have that recognition because Pro Bowl is primarily media and as well as the All-Pros because, you know, that's just how the universe works in the NFL. But with that, I think that he's done enough to secure an All-Pro selection at his position. Now, what's crazy is that is it going to be at a linebacker, an edge rusher? Because I believe last season he got it as a linebacker. So I'd be interested to see how things go there. But yeah, Micah Parsons, self-explanatory. I don't need to go much further than there. Now, moving down my list, I do have CeeDee Lamb as well here, and I think that some people might be perplexed, especially if you're not a Cowboys fan, to think that. Well, allow me to explain. So, he had to play with a backup quarterback for 5 games, and in that span of time, including when Dak Prescott returned, he has now amassed the 3rd most yards in the NFC and the 4th most touchdowns, tied with St. Brown over in Detroit. Now look, he still has plenty of time to up his numbers, and again, the Pro Bowl is pretty much decided like towards the tail end of the season, but he's done enough. You know, I don't think that the voters will give it to him because they look at some of these other guys differently. But look, I personally think CeeDee Lamb has had a Pro Bowl caliber season with the situations that he's been in. I mean, he's on the verge of hitting 1,000 yards, which I mean, that's something to keep in mind too. I mean, I think it's like Justin Jefferson and A.J. Brown are the only guys above 1,000 yards. I could be wrong on St. Brown outside of Detroit, but again, like that's important to keep in mind as well. So I think that CeeDee Lamb has done a damn good job this year. Now, again, the stats are a bit wonky at this point in time because of the fact that, look, he had to play with a backup quarterback and he still played damn well. Now, in terms of how the season ends, we'll see if he eclipses his numbers. I think he needs one more touchdown to surpass his total from last year with 6 now. And if he can get a 7th one, that'd be great, and moving up from there. So, CeeDee Lamb had a pretty damn good year, and he's definitely worthy of a Pro Bowl selection. So, congrats to CeeDee if he does get that. Next, we move on to Trevon Diggs. Now, Trevon Diggs, while his interceptions have not been super high, he has been unbelievable in coverage, and he's had extremely minimal mistakes. People pointed out that whole Colts fiasco with the wide open touchdown. That was the one time that I really saw a big miss, but he's had a fantastic year. He's made game-winning plays back in the Bengals game, and in fact, he's made key critical plays and also shut down opponent's side of the field, and that's something to keep in mind, and he's been actually very damn good. Now, do I think he's going to become a Pro Bowler this year? I don't know. I think that they'll look at that and be like, well, his interception numbers aren't up, so we're not going to give him. But I think he's played so damn well. He deserves such a recognition. And I think he's been so good to the point to where you can make an argument for him having an All-Pro selection, which is extremely critical in this. You know, it's not like he was having a terrible season or anything like that. I mean, listen, the guy is not doing as much with the interception numbers, and everyone's been quiet about how Trevon Diggs has played. Oh, well, he doesn't give up that much yardage, and now people are trying to find every opportunity to clown on him. So I think it's funny how also PFF has him graded lower than Jalen Ramsey, even though Jalen Ramsey has had a very mediocre year, to say the least. But we're not about that life. I think Trevon Diggs has done enough to become a Pro Bowler once again in 2022. Next, we move on to Tony Pollard. Surprise, surprise, I think that Tony Pollard should definitely be in this mix of being a Pro Bowl running back. So you look at his stats, he is actually 4th in the NFC in total rushing yards. And in fact, when you look at what he's done for the Cowboys, he's been such an efficient running back and a home run ball on not only the running portion of the team, but also the passing game. I think that that's something that a lot of teams will look at and be like, ooh, maybe if this guy becomes a free agent, I want to have that on my team. So I think that Tony Pollard has done enough to be worthy of such a consideration. Now, I have seen some people clamor for Zeke getting a nod, and I would say to you this, I don't think it's happening. I would love to see Zeke back in the Pro Bowl, but I mean, you look at this, 716 in terms of yardage, 9 rushing touchdowns, and, I mean, he's been really effective when he's been called upon, right? You know, we had the two-back system going, and I honestly think because of the narrative around him, again, because it's a media-driven type of selection, I don't think he's going to get it. But I will say this, and I'll be completely honest with you, because Zeke has actually been a much better and efficient back than Jamal Williams. And if Jamal Williams gets in because he has 14 rushing touchdowns and most of them are on the goal line, I think Zeke can have the same consideration. And listen, we'll see what happens because Zeke still has some time to go, and if he can average around what he got in the previous game, there is a possibility he could crack 1,000 or get close to 900, which would be something to beholden because, again, he hasn't had a terrible season. I mean, the guy has been very damn good when we needed him, so I want to give an honorary shout-out to Zeke for those that have been actually talking about him. Now, my final person on this list, just a shocker, it's Brett Maher. Yes, it's Brett Maher. Brett Maher has only missed 3 kicks out of the 24 attempts he's had, and those 3 kicks, you know, they're over 50-plus yards, right? He's been money all around. You know, he's only one of 4 kickers that have kicked a 60-yard field goal. You know, he has been amazing this season, and I would say that it would be a travesty if he didn't get maybe, you know, you could look at him getting an all-pro nod too. And again, that's not out of the realm of possibility. You know, I'm not saying he's going to get first team. Definitely not. I don't think so. But he could get that consideration. I know when I say that, some people go like, oh, well, Space, that doesn't make any sense. But you got to understand that like he has been one of the best kickers in the NFL this season, and there is no bias behind that. I mean, when you have a guy that can just pull up from 60 and just kick a field goal like it's nothing, dude, that is an unbelievable weapon to have, especially in the postseason. Like imagine if you go into a game where you could win a game or go into overtime and you have the ability to just pull up and be like, all right, I got my guy that could kick from 60 goddamn yards, and I know he can maybe make it. And you know how I'm telling you, Brett Maher might be key this postseason for the Cowboys. But those are my guys there. Zach Martin, Micah Parsons, CeeDee Lamb, Trevon Diggs, Tony Pollard, and Brett Maher. Not really in any particular order. If you guys have anybody else that you would like to be a part of this list or think that they should be added into consideration, by all means put that down in the comment section below. And with that being said, I do hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day and stay safe.